everybody who's on this webinar today. I'm very excited to be here to be able to share StarHub in terms of our 5G strategy going forward and how we're going to effect and bring about 5G and leading 5G transformation in the Singapore landscape. With that, I will now go into my slides. All right. Very quickly, I'll just want to give a quick overview of StarHub. Very happy to share today, right, with the audience here virtually, is that we are already celebrating this year our 20th anniversary in Singapore. Over the last 20 years, right, as StarHub, we have provided, we're the first to provide quad play services, namely in the mobile services, pay TV, broadband, and also voice services. And mobile being a very, very critical part of our business, right? We've invested into 2G, 3G, 4G, and now 5G. And also looking at the current market situation as well, in the recent announcement of the award, successful award of StarHub, garnering one of the two 5G licenses in Singapore, we aspire to be rolling out 5G services in the coming months and years ahead. We will share later on in the call. Now, within StarHub itself, right, while we pride ourselves to be a very consumer service-oriented company, we have also developed enterprise services as well across the last 7 years with the formation of our enterprise business group. And with that, we actually have developed connectivity services in the telco space, managed ICT services, and also into cybersecurity services, where we have invested in partnership with Temasek, right, to develop a regional APAC ensign cybersecurity company that addresses not only within Singapore, but also within the region itself from a cybersecurity services point of view. Now, in terms of mobile services itself, right, we ourselves, we are proud that recently we have been awarded by MDA that we have the fastest network in Singapore on our 4G network. We are 60% faster than our next best competitor. And with the 4G coming into age and with 5G coming in the next few months, as we're going to share later on, we see that the conversion of 4G to 5G is going to take place in a more seamless manner within StarHub itself. And with that, we also have been investing a lot of our fiber broadband services, a fiber broadband network, right, to support our 5G services of up to about 700 over millions across the last 10 years, covering almost every major critical buildings in Singapore. All 20 commercial buildings in Singapore would have a part of critical commercial building in Singapore will have a coverage of StarHub with our fiber broadband and also our radio network itself. And of course, all these are run within our own purpose-built data center, right? So we ensure that we have the best service level and also the security required to ensure that our ability of services to provide to our enterprise customer as well as our consumer customers as well. Now, with that, right, our strategy going forward for StarHub itself, right, we take into two-pronged approach. We are transforming ourselves in line with the digital transformation and disruption going around in the world, especially in this critical period of COVID-19. Post-COVID-19, what do we do? Now, our company will continue to pride ourselves as a challenger, and as a challenger, we adopt an agile methodology where we will always pride ourselves to be collaborating and innovate together with our industry partner and also our technology partner to form an ecosystem where we'll thrive together. And part of our ongoing strategy, right, to support our customers better, we are also embarking on a very critical major digital transformation journey amounting to 200 over million that will be invested over the next a couple of years as part of our digital transformation. Now, come 5G. 5G is a part of our strategy going forward. It is our core and it's our DNA. While we have invested in 3G and 4G, right, we see 5G, we'll continue to invest into 5G, and that's the reason that we have also participated very aggressively in the recent tender for 5G. And we're happy to share, right, recently IMDA has officially announced that StarHub JVCo, right, has been awarded one of the two 5G licenses in Singapore. And with that, right, what we're looking for is with 5G services, we look forward to enhance our offering, right, as the disruption goes through in the industry through digital transformation, how 5G, and more importantly, how 5G is going to aid mobility, right, to aid the digital transformation itself. And with that, we also have been looking into acquiring adjacent capability as well. Happy to share that we have just recently concluded our acquisition of a StratTech company who focuses in ICT business as well as into healthcare, and with that, and cloud services. And with that, right, we see ourselves not just being a service provider that provides core connectivity network, a very fast 5G network, but we also look forward to providing different layer of services, right, including cloud platform services and also vertical application services, right, that we can work together on our end-to-end journey with our customers. With that, I will just quickly go into 5G. Now, what does 5G means for the world and for Singapore itself, right? As part of in the last 2 years, as we're engaging IMDA, right, the vision of a smart nation is going to be transformed to 5G. 5G is going to form the key critical pillar of our 5G Smart Nation program. And with 5G, what is the difference? What can 5G bring about? Now, what we see is that with the world going digital, mobility is a way of life. Technology has to be able to enable digitization on mobility. And with that, right, as we work, we consume, play, and work on the fly and on the move, right, we must provide a means to able to engage the community from the B2B to B2C and the B2B2C to be able to traverse within these mobile ecosystems, right, so that you can work, play, and consume services, right, within this virtual network. And with 5G, right, this is what 5G will bring about, which what currently the 4G world, and also including our fixed network and as well as Wi-Fi, right, that could not provide, that we are looking forward to in the next digital disruption. Now, primarily for 5G, right, there are 4 key critical elements of 5G that differ from the Wi-Fi of the world and also the fixed and also the 4G network. That is enhanced mobile broadband. Now, in the current 4G offering that we have, right, the broadband speed compared to 5G that's to come, 5G is going to be able to accelerate the connectivity of data download with increased speed of more than 10 times what we see in 4G today. And also from the enterprise perspective, right, we'll also be seeing low latency of communication being enabled, meaning that with the high bandwidth that we're able to run on a what we call the higher spectrum in the 3.5 gigahertz that 5G is going to run on, we are able to provide a bigger highway than what we are seeing today on the 4G network. And with that, right, we are able to support killer application that is not being enabled today. For example, 5G applications, 5G cloud gaming, 5G content viewing running on 4K, 8K, hologram services and all these, AR, VR coming into play seamlessly around the island. And of course, with that, right, Singapore going to become a smart nation of the future. We're talking about a sensor network that's going to be traversed, that's going to grow in various sectors and in various verticals, from smart building, smart vehicles, and wearables, and devices, so on and so forth. So all these massive devices that's going to be adopted, that's going to come into the play in the years to come, that runs into the hundreds of millions, we will need a very robust and very capable network of 5G to be able to support the massive IoT that we're going to run on the communication network transparently, seamlessly, and in a very mobile manner. And last but not least, right, the running application within the 5G network, that we see the convergence of not just communication, but also the IT capability in terms of mobile edge computing and also the 5G application platform services that's going to run within the 5G network. It becomes very apparent, very critical that we need to have a very secure environment to run our application, our transaction information running within this mobile network. And with that, right, 5G brings about network slicings. Right, so we are able to now be able to secure our own communication, right, within this mobile network when 5G comes into the fold. And this is something that's not available today in the 3G and 4G world. And with that, right, this is what the end goal that we will see, that with 5G coming into play as the standard evolve and as we roll out the networks in the 2 to 4 years, starting from 2021, we will see such services coming in, and industry as well, industry partners such as SMEICC and the members, as well as also technology partners coming together, define the use cases, right, where we can co-develop with StarHub 5G to enable this ecosystem to flourish and to progress further. Now, The other one key aspect I want to share is that based on the regulator directions of being a smart nation, what does it mean? Where will be the key emphasis that we will be looking into? Now, the government has identified 6 areas to focus into deploying 5G. Maritime operation, seaport, airport will become the 5G port operation of the world. In T5 that we're going to see in the years to come, right, that will be a 5G terminal. And we have the Tuas Megaport that's coming up. That's going to be 5G enabled, where all the operations on the ground, right, will not be wired up, but will be enabled to be covered seamlessly through 5G airwave. And that will enable autonomous vehicle running within the seaport itself in the Tuas Megaport, and including digital twins, right, where operator can really sit behind the desk and operate the cranes that's far residing at the edge of the port itself to handle the cargo loading and unloading. Urban mobility is another one. There are various trials that's going on right now talking about autonomous vehicle. How do we guide through autonomous vehicle seamlessly using 5G network, right, to allow the vehicle to intelligently navigate itself through the obstacles and also the footpath around Singapore Islands. There are projects coming out in the northeast area and also in the western side, right, that are going through trials right now. And that will happen in the years to come, where we will envisage with the 5G network that will cover outdoor of up to 95%, right? We'll see this taking to shape where autonomous vehicle will come into play. Smart city, right? We have about 20 over thousands commercial buildings and a lot more residential as well. Singapore is a very developed country with a lot of high-rise building. How can we make ourselves more green and more intelligent, enable to bring down our carbon emission and also our electricity consumptions, right? So with the use of monitoring tools, right, in our building management system, our facility management systems, right, how do we aggregate data seamlessly around different areas of our smart buildings that we can then ingest and consume the data, right, to help the building owners, right, to reduce their capacity of consumption. And that could be done today through the fixed network. There are other areas, the new applications that's coming on board, that will require sensors to be placed in different points. It will be very difficult for us to go into different buildings to wire up again and start filling up sensor network. One means, right, is actually to put in network devices, right, sensors that do not have to be physically wired, that have position and communicate through wirelessly, right, through a mobile network. And how do we then aggregate this data readily with availability and security? And that's where 5G aims to drive that as well. We also have been trialing in Smart Nation, in the Smart City, Smart Estate, where we deploy drones, right, that allows the site surveillance, right, the building owners to conduct surveillance, building facade, to look out for issues of maintenance, where they can quickly identify on the fly, within the same flight itself, right, or where are the issues of fault that can be quickly transmitted onto the ground to the surveyor, where remedy can be then accorded to for resolutions. Now, in today's world, right, where we have drone flying, right, all these are very statically being captured and then it's being processed, right, and then later on it's being processed into a report to be submitted for remedy. Now, this current process, right, is very laborious and it's very labor intensive, and it takes about 3 to 4 months, what we understood on the ground today, right? And the aim to use 5G is to then enable this communication of latency of images that captured real time on the drone as it's in flight around the building, right, to capture this information and send it to the ground using AI to process all the anomalies, where then the surveyor can then take on the next step. So this is aimed to reduce the wastage of resources and also enhance productivity. A lot of consumer application is coming into place as well. Now, as part of StarHub pioneering 5G, right, we are fortunate to have been part of the GSMA consortium, right, where we actually participated with the pioneering countries in Korea and in Japan, right, and also in some countries in Europe who has already went ahead with 5G deployment in the last 2 years. And lessons has been learned onto how 5G is going to be work and what are the difference between the real value of 5G can bring to the consumer world. We talk about richer applications, 4K, 8K cloud gaming, content viewing. So there are cloud gaming on 5G as well as also content for 5G that's been developed over time now, and that will be really be brought to Singapore shore very soon as part of our service offering. Now, last but not least, the government application is another key. As part of Smart Nation, right, the government views of having the IIoE, right, the Industry Internet of Everything, being connected Singapore transparently, right, how information is going to be aggregated nationwide, how we can help them in urban planning, in terms of redirections of emergency services on a daily basis, real time, over the cloud, using artificial intelligence. That is going to be enabled through the platform of 5G services that we are rolling out from StarHub in the next 3 to 4 years. With that, I would just like to share with the attendees here, right, in terms of the timeline. There are 3 areas that we look into when we're talking about 5G. Is 5G ready? Now, I'd like to share at this moment in time, right, in terms of the 5G standard, where the devices, like our partners are going to share later on from Samsung, right, in terms of handsets, when is 5G ready, handsets going to be out in the marketplace? What will be the key features that these handsets devices is going to bring about that's different from today? Now, with that, right, we reference back to the 3GPP standard at the top layer, right, that they define universally globally what the 5G standard would be for all the devices and also the network and application we are going to support on. Now, we are officially in the release 16 now. Release 16 is called the standalone. As a minister, as Iswaran has mentioned, right, Singapore is pivot and proud to be going to be the first 5G standalone nation. Right, the rest of the other 5G deployment that we have seen in the past, right, in Korea and also in Japan in the last 2 years, what they have done is called the non-standalone edition. What the Koreans has done is actually deploy 5G network by running on top of the 4G network services today. 5G radio network running on 4G telco network today. Now, going forward, right, in Singapore, right, we are going to run 2 separate networks. StarHub will be launching our 5G network on the 2, on 4G enhanced, as well as also the 5G standalone in the coming years. And later on, we'll share in terms of our commercial 5G services that we are trialing now, what does that mean bringing to the businesses itself. So we are now officially into release 16. So in the next year, we will see a lot of devices, handsets, and we'll see a lot of devices in terms of router switches coming into play. And with that, right, with the network readily, we'll be able to then onboard and develop a lot of application use cases that will aim to aid and also resolve some of our business pain point that we are limited by current technology, and also the limitation of ability to develop cutting-edge use cases, right, that we wanted to enhance in our current value chain today in the various vertical and business segments. Right. Next step, I'll look at it in IMDA, where we are in terms of the 5G rollout. We are officially StarHub has been awarded one of the 2 licenses. We are in the midst of planning a rollout of a 5G standalone network, which will be ready from January 2021. We'll be progressive rolling out from January 2021 with the permission of the building owners in Singapore as we plan through, right? The next 2 years, we aim to cover up to 70% of the network, standalone network, 5G network in Singapore outdoor. And by 2024, we will complete up to 95% of our 5G network that we are planned to roll out. And also at the same time, looking at in terms of our current services as well, we are also looking into enhancing our current 4G network, where we're going to be developing and enhancing it, right, to be able to provide some of the 5G functionality as well. So from StarHub perspective, we will be able to provide 5G services on our current 4G enhanced network, and as well the standalone network that we are committed to roll out with IMDA in the next 2 to 4 years time from 2021 to 2024. All right, so how do we get together? How are we going to enable all this? With now StarHub being one of the 5G provider in Singapore, the licensed operator, right? This is what StarHub envisioned to do, and we call upon everybody in the call as well, right? The participant from SCCCI, the members as well in the industry and also in the technology sector, right? To come together to help us co-develop ecosystems, right? The ecosystem will encompass of StarHub 5G network, as well as also we will have industry use cases that we need to help to co-develop, work together, right, to co-innovate. And then with the technology partners of Samsung, Nokia, Huawei, Microsoft, all coming into play to help to develop the technology to be able then to come out with relevant use cases that really will help to address some of our critical pain point today, and also help us to differentiate and digitally transform in the post-COVID era. And with that is also developing thought leadership in bringing about 5G innovation, right? Not within Singapore, sure, right, but also to be able to collaborate with businesses alike that we have partnership with, right, in the other part of the world as well. Now, I'll just quickly run through about where we are in terms of StarHub. StarHub is a very partnership-led company. We value in terms of working with our partner ecosystems, SMEICC and the members itself as one of the many partners that we will endeavor to work with. Now, last year, right, with our focus on 5G coming into play, we have progressively set up our 5G business unit, right, to actually engage in various forums, working with for example, on the left-hand side, in the American Chambers of Commerce, right, where we do share the development of 5G, and also with the American Chamber of Commerce and its partners of American companies, right? What is it like for the companies to be able to work in Singapore, and what 5G in Singapore is going to be realized in the years to come, and they're going to aid the American company working in Singapore, likewise overseas as well. Right, also, our CTO has also joined in the 5G Asia panel to talk about killer apps. Now, a lot of people will be asking about what's the difference between 4G and 5G. Now, 5G is not about a faster enhanced broadband, a faster connectivity. 5G is about bringing capability of communication and IT services, right, and capability of artificial intelligence into play, right, to allow seamlessly within the mobile network where we're not seeing today. And that is aimed to help us to further drive the adoptions of digital transformation in this digital era on mobile. Mobility becomes a way of life, and the digital native today are all very mobile, and everything is all within a smartphone gadget on the hand itself. So we aim to use 5G to actually to drive killer applications and services, right, within the touch of every single one of us within the mobile devices that we have in our hand today. Now, of course, we have also partnered with our other technology partners, and more importantly, on the right-hand side, right, with KPMG, and also with GSMA. Now, we are happy to share with our involvement in GSMA, right, we have the fortune of actually interacting with the other fellow telco operator around the world, including NTT in Japan, and also SKT, KT, Korea Telecom in Korea. And in a part of the engagement, we showcase and we share 5G learning, thought leadership, development, and all this. And with that, we aim to bring this information not just sharing out to the world, but also bringing those learning into Singapore so that we can spearhead and accelerate our adoptions and our innovation around 5G. Last but not least, I also want to share, these are some of the events that we have conducted across the last 1 year or so. We have also, as part of StarHub and the service provider, we relish and also to work and enable the economy and also the general public. We have run showcases, right, in consumer showcases in various places in our shops in Singapore, showcasing 5G innovation and solutions. And also we do have done some of the roadshows as well, displaying cloud gaming that's going to come using 5G, fixed wireless access, right, that is going to enable faster download speeds for businesses that needs to be mobile, that doesn't have a fixed space from the current 4G world, and without a fixed network, the latency will be improved. And then we talk about multi-conferencing, right, allowing the next generation of consumer application, including artificial AR, VR, hologram kind of services that we will work with the industries, right, to offer. Augmented reality will be one around what we've been thinking about is to offer to consumer at home, right, to be able to have to realize interacting virtually of all the offerings that's going to come from the vertical services that we are developing in the coming months. On the enterprise side, this is what we also have happy to share. We have actually deployed in partnership with NUS, which our fellow panelists, right, Dr. Shah from NUS, will share a little bit more detail about what between StarHub and NUS has come together to implement and roll out the first 5G campus in NUS itself to enable the School of Engineering, right, to develop AR/VR applications to aid the student in learning in the School of Engineering. So Dr. Shah will later share how these 5G adoptions, right, in the education space, right, and how that is going to reshape and enhance the learning experience of the students, right, with the use of 5G and the new 5G AR/VR applications. Also, we have been partnering with the Nanyang Polytechnics in opening up a 5G APEC Center. Within the APEC Center itself, right, the strategy and the objective of the APEC 5G with Nanyang Polytechnic is aimed to bring like-minded industry partners and technology partners, right, to come on board to do co-development of use cases within a lab environment, and with that, we will prototype into the industry. Happy to share within the opening of the Nanyang Polytechnic 5G in January this year, right, we have 4 verticals use cases that we have already developed in healthcare, retail, smart building, and manufacturing. And those are industry partners that come on board to showcase and share with us some of their key business requirement, key pain points, and how we can aid them to overcome and improve and enhance the current way they are working today in their value chain. Such kind of use cases, while we trial within the APEC, NYP APEC 5G Center itself, right, we have happy to share some of the healthcare use cases have now been brought forward to the Ministries of Health, right, to be considered for a pilot trial into the actual hospital itself. Similarly, we also have use cases in smart retail, which we have also showcased and developed within the lab itself in MYP, APEC 5G, and StarHub APEC 5G, and this is going to be bring forward into a retail mall in the foreseeable future. Right, so this is what we've been working on from Star perspective in terms of co-development. Now, 5G is very nascent, it is still very new. We do see that this is going to be the game changer, right? And we encourage everybody to adopt, a future-proof view, right? To come on board with us, right? To co-develop with us use cases, right, that help to effect and also help to aid you in your digital transformation in the post-COVID era. With that, I come to the last slides of my presentation today. I'm happy to announce that as of today, right, StarHub has officially is the first telco in Singapore to launch our 5G commercial trial. Today we have already turned on 53% of our radio network in around the island, right, to be running on 5G services for trial. And we encourage everybody to take a look in our website, right, to sign on for the free trial that we are embarking right now, so that will help us to allow you to experience the potential of 5G in terms of the high bandwidth, the low latency, and also help you to drive forward and understand and appreciate what can 5G actually brings about and how to effect in terms of adopting into your business transformation from a technology perspective. With that, I will now hand over to Jocelyn, who will play a video on the launches, as well as also we'll follow by with a video recording of our next panel speaker, right, from MYP, Dr. share about his vision and the purpose of 5G is aiding in terms of in the Institute of Higher Learning, how 5G is going to help effect and how NYP and the various Institute of Higher Learning, right, is coming together, right, to adopt 5G, right, experience it, trial it, co-develop it, and so that all the know-how will then be built, inculcated into their syllabus that they build up to enable the students to acquire the know-how of 5G as a join in the 5G workforce in the years to come. With that, I will now hand over to Jocelyn.
Hi, thank you, Sebastian. Very good sharing. We'll just play a short video. We are very glad to announce here that StarHub is the first. So just to share a very short video with you, and then thereafter over to Dr. Vin's segment for more insights what 5G can do for us. Next, over to the next segment, we have Dr. Vin. This is a pre-recorded video from him. He'll be sharing about
Good afternoon,
5G
everyone.
applications.
Firstly, I would like to thank the organizers of SMEICC 2020 and StarHub for inviting me to talk about 5G applications and how they can empower the digital transformation of the industry. Please accept my apologies that I'm not able to talk live in this session and had to prepare this recording beforehand. I will leave my contact details at the end of the talk. Please reach out to me if you have any questions, and I'll be very glad to answer them. I'm sure our earlier speaker and my good friend Sebastian has enlightened us on 5G and the promise it holds for the future of work. I will re-emphasize what is 5G and the benefits of 5G from the industry point of view. And this will let me segue into the potential applications of 5G across the key industry sectors in Singapore. 5G, or the fifth generation of mobile networks, is a new kind of network that is designed to connect virtually everyone and everything, including machines, people, and devices. With every new generation of mobile networks, whether it's 1G, 2G, 3G to 4G, the aim was to improve connectivity and bandwidth. But with 5G, we will see much more. A unified air interface with a multifold increase in data carrying capacity that will enable business models anew, next generation user experiences and services, autonomous machines, smart connected devices, and this will deliver digitalization and digital transformation on a massive scale. To explain the potential benefits of 5G to the industry, I usually use the highway analogy. So if you visualize a mobile network spectrum as a highway, a 5G highway will have many, many more lanes than a 4G highway. Its tarmac will be much more smoother than a 4G highway. So you can imagine more cars can now be driven on it at any given time, and these cars can be driven much faster. And this is what we call high bandwidth, high connection density, and low latency of a 5G network as compared to a 4G network. Also, on a 5G highway, there are no junctions, there are no speed barriers, there are no access to unauthorized vehicles. So cars can be driven safely, they can be driven uniformly at high speeds without any accidents or incidents of crime. Now, this is what we call network reliability, availability, and inherent security that is there in a 5G network. In fact, all the data that goes on a 5G network or is transmitted over a 5G network is inherently secure because the data is encrypted at either ends. Therefore, you can imagine that with the orders of magnitude improvements in bandwidth, speed, reliability, and security, applications that leverage massive amounts of data will now be made possible to be deployed in real time across industry sectors. Now that I've told you about the benefits of 5G, I must also address a couple of myths about 5G that are going around before I actually go into the potential industry applications. The first myth is that 5G is prohibitively expensive than 4G. While we acknowledge that our telcos such as StarHub will incur big costs to put up the 5G infrastructure across the country, and these costs will need to be borne by the industry consumers, we must also realize that the sheer increase in network efficiency means that the cost to transmit per unit data will be low. And this will significantly lower the overall costs of running critical big data enabled applications that the industry would need anyway in the new digital economy, irrespective of the sectors. On top of this are the cost savings, revenue growth, business expansions, productivity enhancements, which are the true impacts of digital transformation that can be enjoyed by the industry, and these will be truly enabled by 5G. Another myth that is going around is that 5G network affects our health. It weakens our immunity, gives us all kinds of diseases, and the recent outrage in some countries was driven by the fear that 5G caused people to get infected with COVID-19. Now, these are baseless claims, baseless suspicions. The latest biological research looking at the potential effects of 5G radiation found no link between the technology and our health. Let me now talk about the potential applications of 5G across the key industry sectors of manufacturing, retail, healthcare, and urban solutions. Let us first talk about the potential 5G applications in the manufacturing sector. As manufacturing systems are driven more and more by Industry 4.0, 5G will enable solutions such as autonomous guided vehicles and production robots that will use 5G network to navigate themselves on the shop floor. Production line inspections will be carried out by artificial intelligence engines enabled by 5G that help to shuttle in high fidelity data or images to the cloud in real time. 5G's data transmission power will enable digital twins of machines on the shop floor, with which you are able to monitor and control these machines or your production sitting at home, which is really what we are doing now in these troubled times. 5G can support big data transfers from multiple production locations to enable real-time collaboration between teams and a unified digital backbone that ties the different sites of your manufacturing plants together for true shop floor to top floor connectivity. And then finally, 5G will truly help us realize augmented, virtual, and mixed reality applications without the lags that we witness today, to have immersive experiences of our factory models, just-in-time learning to solve critical problems that arise on the shop floor, and interact with the digital twins of your machines that we spoke about earlier. Next is 5G applications in the healthcare sector. 5G will enable solutions such as remote patient monitoring using wearable devices that will produce massive amounts of data that will be transferred to the cloud over 5G. This will support applications such as telemedicine, where patients are able to consult doctors online and doctors have access to the patient vitals at the same time for a better consultation and diagnosis experience. Similar to AI detecting defects in manufacturing, it can also be used to diagnose diseases by analyzing medical images such as CT scans and digital X-rays. And such high-fidelity images will require 5G to be transferred to the cloud for on-the-go analytics. Such large images can also be sent to the doctor's computers so that the time between tests, diagnosis, and doctor's consultation is vastly reduced. The extremely low latency and high reliability of a 5G network can also enable remote surgeries using advanced robots such as the Da Vinci robot for high-precision procedures. Finally, augmented and virtual reality applications powered by 5G will help in contextual and lifelike training of doctors and nurses in the medical school, and even use this technology to assist surgeons while with critical data during live surgery. Retail is another exciting sector. Although it is going through a temporarily difficult phase now, 5G in retail promises to enable smart shelves that will know when a particular product placed on them needs to be restocked and the prices need changing. The smart shelves and inventory data can be analyzed using predictive analytics tools to realize just-in-time inventory and adaptive pricing. Supply and demand-side forecasting can be made using real-time modeling for the stores to optimize their operations. In-store camera feeds can be analyzed on the fly to understand customer behaviors as they browse through and traverse through the store aisles, so that targeted promotions can be pushed on the phones of the customers to drive up sales. Just like in manufacturing, auto stock taking and auto stocking robots can now navigate and operate in a store autonomously. And then finally, AR/VR solutions can help enhance customer experience, especially in lifestyle stores. All these applications need massive data acquisition, handling, and transfer capabilities, which is made possible by 5G and computing architectures such as the multi-access edge computing by Microsoft. Finally, 5G is powering exciting solutions in the urban solution space. None of us need convincing that the promise of autonomous vehicles and connected cars to revolutionize the way we commute in Singapore. These applications need real-time access to high-fidelity maps, accurate traffic data, instantaneous analysis of on-vehicle camera and sensor feeds for safe navigation. We also need the ultra-high reliability and availability of the data network to prevent accidents. Smart city solutions such as surveillance for people safety, smart routing of traffic, and smart logistics need a vast network of connected devices and people, resulting in voluminous amount of data being generated and transferred from the field to the cloud. In the built environment space, drones are taking over human inspections of external facades and internal installations of buildings. And these drones need a way to navigate themselves in and around the building safely and efficiently. These applications are already on their way to being developed, tested, and validated in Singapore, thanks to the availability of 5G. All the applications that I've mentioned today are the current and near-term needs of the industry. Democratization of technologies such as AI, cloud computing, Internet of Things, and 5G have made the development and deployment of these applications possible. To support the industry in adopting 5G and having access to a well-trained and equipped workforce, NYP and StarHub have jointly established the NYP StarHub Application and Experience Center for 5G, or Apex 5G. The center trains NYP learners by involving them in 5G projects and is currently expanding to train the industry workforce in 5G and allied domains. The center currently has 6 projects in 5G across the 4 sectors that we spoke about, and we have industry partners such as Microsoft, ST Microelectronics, Senfire, Singapore General Hospital, Avetics, and BHG. I invite you all to visit the center and witness the 5G projects being developed and demonstrated there. You can also test bed your 5G applications at the center, which is equipped with both the 3.5 gig and the millimeter wave spectrum from StarHub. Apart from Apex 5G, NYP has other centers of innovation and excellence in advanced manufacturing, electronics and IoT, automation and robotics, additive manufacturing, and digital engineering. All the expertise that lies within these centers are converged to support the needs of the industry and provide industry-relevant training to our learners. NYP and StarHub would like to engage and support you in your 5G adoption journey. Now, this brings me to thank the organizers and StarHub again for giving me this opportunity to share at the conference. My contact details are coming up. I look forward to engaging with all of you in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sebastian, for your insightful presentation, and Joycelyn for helping out with the video facilitation for Dr. Vin. Our third speaker for today is Dr. Shah Kwok Wei, Assistant Professor at Department of Building, School of Design and Environment of NUS. In your good hands now, Dr. Shah.
Yeah, are you able to see my screen? Yeah, I need to share screen, right?
Yep, we are able to see you. Yep.
Okay, let me see. Let me share my screen. Huh?
Yep.
Are you able to see my screen? Full
Nope,
screen?
not yet.
Not yet, huh? Let me see. Share.
Not in presentation mode.
No presentation.
Yeah.
Okay. Can't get. Is it this one? Screen 2. Screen 1. Share.
We are seeing your desktop now. Windows. Okay, you're good.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Sebastian and Jocelyn and all the attendees today. I'm very honored to participate in this webinar, and it is a good time to share with everyone what is happening in US and what are the projects that we are embarking on this journey of digital transformation with 5G together with StarHub. And thanks for the very good presentation by Dr. Vin as well, our partner in NYP. And without further ado, let me introduce our SDE 4 building, which is Singapore's first 5G enabled net zero energy building. We have this newly built net zero energy building in Singapore that is 5G enabled. And of course, we welcome everyone to join and participate in this digital transformation journey and to develop killer applications for 5G, especially in the domain of built environment, design of green buildings, and smart facility management. So to give you a bit of a history, NUS and StarHub has signed a MOU in December 2019, which is last year, to jointly advance innovation in virtual reality and artificial intelligence solutions over StarHub's 5G network in NUS, which is located at the School of Design and Environment. All right. The NUS StarHub partnership marks NUS' first step towards enabling the adoption of 5G. And NUS and StarHub will harness the latest 5G technology to design and test trial advanced VR, AR solutions. And two partners will jointly develop use cases, which I will explain more in detail, including a video, all right, to demonstrate the application of 5G capabilities to deliver solutions that will enhance immersive learning, advance cutting-edge research, and address industry needs and challenges. The research activities at the NUS are conducted at this new 5G laboratory at SDE4. And the new laboratory, all right, serves as a living lab to explore human-centric approaches to develop human-focused solutions, all right, to promote an integrated and sustainable development, and to facilitate the test bedding and development of green buildings in Singapore. All right. So by leveraging on 5G as a key enabling technology, the SDE4 building is actually offering a conducive training, learning, and research environment for the development and trial of practical VR, AR, AI solutions that are focused on the people, environment, wellness within a sustainable ecosystem. All right. So the 5G concepts that at SDE4 building here is that we actually ride onto StarHub's 5G network broadcasting on the 3.5 gigahertz trial spectrum. All right. The 5G enable a very ultra reliable and low latency communications. Okay. And an improvement in the bandwidth performance that is required in all our VR solutions and AI solutions. And it enables our training to be interactive and seamlessly without any lag or signal dropout. So NUS actually recognizes the possibility of the use of 5G technology to sharpen our competitiveness in the field of education and innovation. So the collaboration with StarHub, all right, enables, let me go to this one. The collaboration with this StarHub, okay, it aims to improve the lives of Singaporeans with technology, and distance will no longer be any barrier when it comes to experiential learning, and productivity will get the boost through workflow automation. So this has to be done with the full power of 5G. And NUS and StarHub, we aim to bring together the most advanced technologies that I will show later, and to co-develop solutions, all right, that are relevant and useful to the people of Singapore. Okay, so the school is very excited to pilot experimental use of 5G, all right, in our SDE4 Living Lab to support human-centric research and advanced education initiative. Now, this is in line with our well and green agenda that we endeavor to conduct research on sustainable buildings concurrently with the wellness of occupants in the mind and how the human occupants interact with the built environment. So we have targeted on two projects. One is on mixed reality, AR, VR in education, and the other one is a building facade inspection system using AI and drones, which I will touch a bit on later. So, we have spoke about the ultra high speed of 5G as compared to 4G, which can be as much as 10 times faster, 10 Gbps, and the latency, ultra low latency of a few milliseconds, and the connectivity that allows up to 1 million connections per kilometer square, all right, and the high mobility that enables connection, mobile connection on even on a high-speed railway, all right. and the network architecture that enables slicing to be carried out on the network. So really, we want to test trial the next generation killer applications in terms of autonomous driving, augmented reality, tactile internet, virtual reality, immersive learning and teaching. All right, and we welcome industries and partners and anyone who wish to make use of the facilities at NUS Zero Energy Building to learn more about how to implement and adopt 5G into their workflow or their daily lives. Please approach us at NUS SDE, all right? And you're welcome to test trial. So what are the killer applications that we are thinking of and we are trying to test bed at NUS? Things like augmented reality for lift training, lift maintenance. We know that in the lifts, there is a dwindling workforce for lift workers, lift technicians, and the training of using AR enables our new generation of lift technicians to pick up digital skills and to maintain our building services in a more efficient and effective way. All right. And we also test trial drones, autonomous vehicles, and autonomous cars. All right. And we teach a lot on building information modeling, okay, using digital twin. We develop digital twin models, all right, for monitoring the behavior of human occupants, monitoring the thermal comfort of indoor occupants and the indoor environment, the air quality, and of course, recently because of the pandemic, the aerosols, how the flow, the airflow, and how it carries the virus throughout the indoors space is becoming very important and critical. We are able to simulate using computational fluid dynamics in real time using cloud computing to actually monitor the flow and of COVID virus within the indoor space. And of course, urban farming, how we can use more Internet of Things sensors to monitor the indoor environment to be more conducive for farming and for vegetation. And also we have, especially in this zero energy building, we have renewable energy, solar energy. We are able to switch between the grid, right, drawing power from the grid or drawing power from the solar panels. We are able to inspect our panels for its reliability, cleaning, and defects and maintenance using our drones. And of course, there are a lot of projects happening on solar farming and floating solar panels. And of course, human traffic has become a very important part of analytics, all right, using video and images. This is to control the crowd. And of course, we have another project which is very interesting, is that we actually use a digital twin to monitor human traffic and the places that people touch in order to dispatch the robots for a more targeted disinfection. So by enabling digital twinning and human tracking and human counting, we are able to control, all right, the COVID-19 transmission. Although this is still in a very research and test bedding stage, all right, this is what we are doing to benefit, to ensure the safety of indoor occupants, all right, by detecting areas where people touch and dispatching the robots to disinfect in a more targeted and energy efficient manner, all right. People counting technology is nothing new, all right. We integrate people counting and digital twin, all right, to actually count the number of people, whether you are in a room with 10 people, you may turn on 1 chiller. If you have 100 people, you turn on 5 chillers. So by counting the human usage of space within a building, you can be more energy efficient, all right? So in terms of COVID-19, human safety, in terms of energy efficiency, you see that human traffic analysis actually plays a very important role. And also even in retail, if you are able to draw a pattern of when you have the highest traffic of customers, you can actually schedule your workers more intelligently. For example, if people like to buy shoes on Saturdays and Sundays, you can allocate more workers right, on Saturdays and Sundays. But on Monday nights, maybe the traffic, the human traffic or the customer traffic goes down, you allocate less people. So that is how people counting actually help you to do better scheduling of your workers, of your lightings and chillers and air conditioning. All right. So better warehouse, dormitory, worker safety. All right. We know that dormitories are normally pretty congested, and a lot of people staying within the dormitory, and how to manage the people flow, how do they flow, and what are the spaces where you can avoid congestion. That becomes a very critical technology that we can use 5G to solve, all right? Using video analytics, cloud computing, edge computing, and AI, all right, to automatically manage crowd. So that is a very interesting project that we are doing together with Huawei and Digital Twin, all right? So Digital Twin also allows you to do 3D modeling and virtualization, all right, to integrate dynamic data inside and outside of buildings, the environmental parameters such as the temperature, the relative humidity, the rainfall, and the wind speed, wind direction. So all these you can simulate and incorporate AI into the digital world to give you more information on how to better manage the microclimate, all right, in the district level, on a wider level, all right, how to manage the haze, for example, during the haze seasons in August and September, all right, and of course, how to manage the energy efficiency, facility management, and energy and emergency situations, all right. So we are using AR and VR for a 3D mobile command center for the entire building and multiple buildings. And NUS being a township, we have all sorts of buildings. We have dormitories, we have data centers, we have hospitals, all right? We have commercial buildings, we have office buildings, we have lecture rooms, and we have classrooms. So we are like a town that you can actually use NUS campus as a living lab, as a township, to conduct very large scale systems analytics and also simulation, all right, to better improve and understand how you develop future smart cities, all right. So one of the projects that we do for 5G is on AR and VR, immersive learning, together with StarHub, Huawei, and Revis. And we are looking to incorporate augmented reality and virtual reality to engage our students in a very interactive and immersive way, to enable them to learn better and pick up the fundamentals of the modules that I teach in terms of measurement, all right, building measurements, especially for quantity surveyors, all right. They will learn how to pick up building elements to measure and quantify, all right, to understand the functionality and able to visualize different building components like the columns, the beams, the electrical wiring, the transformer, and of course, they are able to access construction site in a very safe manner. So we allow our students to enter the switch room without facing any danger of electrocution, to access construction sites without any danger of falling objects, of tripping, or falling into a construction pit. So that is what AR and VR offers in terms of better learning in a more interactive and immersive way. Just now I spoke about AI drones inspection. We are inspecting the exterior of commercial and residential high-rise buildings, which can be very dangerous if you send people to climb up buildings just to do inspection. So drones has become more of a default, all right? We also see in other countries like China using drones to control the traffic. So drones are able to record images and videos, and we can do the analysis using AI, and that will remove a lot of manual inspection, that is laborious and time consuming, all right? Just now I talked about people counting and human traffic monitoring, counting the number of people that enters the retail shop, all right, or into the classroom, where we throttle the chillers and the air cons to save power, to save energy. Because if there's nobody there, it should automatically turn off the aircon and the lightings. And of course, we also monitor the CO2 levels, all right? So excessive CO2 make people lose their concentration, especially our students, when they attend classes or lectures, the CO2 level is monitored continuously so that we know when to throttle the fresh air into the buildings. So it is important to first count the people in the building and where they are moving, all right, for security reasons as well. And these are enabled by 5G technology. Lift is becoming a very critical building service we have in our super high-rise buildings in Singapore. And of course, we are moving underground. The lift is facing a transformation as well, where we see a lot of digital lifts coming up. So lifts are becoming more high speed, all right? They are able to climb 50 stories high in a matter of seconds, all right? These are high speed lifts. And the maintenance of digital lifts is very difficult. The training and the apprenticeship of maintaining advanced lifts in Singapore is really a very difficult knowledge, all right? So we are looking at AR, VR to better train our lift technicians in the same way where lift medical surgeons actually conduct the surgery or operation using smart glasses. So our lift maintenance, similar to the aerospace industry, where they maintain very complex engines. The lift itself have the very complex machinery and motors and controllers, where the lift technicians have to pick up over the matter of 1 year to 2 years. So looking at the dwindling and aging workforce in our lift workforce, we really need to incorporate AR, VR, and digital learning to increase our lift technician workforce, and also to attract more people and train them with more digital skill sets. So for construction site management, all right, we are looking at carrying out real-time video analytics for construction site, monitoring the workers and monitoring the cranes, monitoring the dangerous bulky items that can injure the workers, and possible hole and pitfalls that they may fall into. So these are events that will impact the productivity of work and safety. So we are developing algorithms, all right, to immediately identify these kind of dangerous situations and to prevent and preempt accidents from happening at the construction site. So in the gist of the killer apps, all right, for the built environment, we are looking at 5G connectivity for climate monitoring, connecting millions of IoT sensors in real time for a microclimate monitoring on extreme weathers, on climate change, on water supply, and on seawater levels, all right, to actively monitor the dry spells, flash floodings, droughts, hotspots, haze, and other natural disasters, all right? And for building facility management, we are moving into digital construction, building information modeling, 3D printing, additive manufacturing of building components, remote AI building, building health management, corrosion inspection, structural aging and degradation. So all these require AI and 5G to enable a very seamless detection of building faults and to reduce the operation downtime of critical buildings like hospitals and data centers, all right? On people healthcare, we want to use 5G to monitor the health of buildings. Say, for example, you have a nursery room with 20 babies. You can immediately detect one baby that is having a fever and extract that baby out of the room immediately. Or you have an elderly in old folks' home that has fainted, all right? And you are able to automatically dispatch medics to rescue or to bring the elderly to the hospital in an automatic way. So for energy utilities, we are looking at 5G connected real-time energy demand management, solar PV, renewable energy and zero carbon emissions, super low energy buildings, smart grid. So all these are up and coming, and we are testing, and we are carrying out the development of the different algorithms and the AI that actually enables and ride on the 5G technology. So these are just a summary of the unique use cases that we plan to implement, all right, on logistics, on immersive gaming and teaching and education, and on 3D holographic presence, on high 8K resolution video streaming, and work and game, and also on real-time remote control and factory automation. So I think that summarizes what I like to share with everyone, and feel free to connect and email to me in NUS or any of our colleagues, all right? And we look forward to co-develop and co-create new 5G killer applications. And following this, we have a short video for you to enjoy and sit back and relax and enjoy the video. Thank you. All right, Jocelyn.
Thank you, Dr. Shah. We will be playing the video shortly. Yep.
Thank you.
Really delighted today to announce that SDE4 will be Singapore's first net zero energy 5G test lab in collaboration with startup. This is SDE4, which is the first net zero energy building in NUS as well as in Singapore.
We share the view that this sector is indeed one that can benefit greatly from 5G. We are excited about it. We want to make sure that the use cases that are going to be harnessed from this will be truly changing the way we do things.
We would want to make use of this to test out some of the interesting applications, to innovate certain applications that is very sensitive to real time, and as well as the latency of the transmission.
Thank you, Dr. Shah, for sharing of the 5G use cases. I think it has been very eventful for everyone to understand how the various industries and the use case, right, can come into place to leverage on 5G to actually bring more productivity and more value basically to the businesses and also to the end users. So now I would like to now let us welcome our last speaker of the day, Mr. Jackson So, Solution Architect of IT and Mobile of Samsung Asia Private Limited, to share more about how 5G is going to propagate even further in the mobile devices. Over to you, Jackson.
So let me just quickly share my screen.
Jackson, you're all good? Yep.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm honored today to have the opportunity from SMEICC and StarHub to actually, have this opportunity to talk to you guys about the topic around transforming the way of work. Okay, so usually SMEICC events are held offline in a physical venue. Yeah, so today this event I will consider it like a special edition event, and I'm really heartened to see so many participants join us, despite the changes that we all have to adapt to working at work. Okay. Okay, so one thing on everyone's mind today is the current situation that we are all in. With COVID-19 hitting us so hard, reshaping economy and all. So businesses actually need to have new ways, to communicate, to work, as well as to connect with each other. Okay. Okay, and in Samsung, we believe that mobile convergence is actually the key to actually addressing all these challenges that we are seeing today, brought on by the onset of COVID-19. Even before COVID-19, we are already seeing a trend in the shift of IT expenditure from business organizations in shifting towards mobile. Okay, so the reasons for them doing this are quite multifold. Okay, so one very obvious thing is that is for cost savings, because with the shift to mobile, business organizations can actually streamline the amount of mobile devices or the equipment that they need to support. Thereby, they reduce the amount of resources required for the IT support to actually support the company. Okay, and other reasons that drive them towards this is that they felt that there's a need to re-energize the workplace, to actually bring together a combination of technologies, cultures, to actually allow people like millennials, they are entering our workforce right now, and a lot of them actually feel that for me, if I'm going to work for a company, I expect the company to provide me with equipment and means to work at my terms, anywhere, anytime that I like. Okay, and of course, the last one is that with the current situation we're in, is a prime example why business organizations need more flexibility when it comes to work options. As our CEO for our division put it, we are now in the next normal. Nobody knows how long COVID-19 is going to last. And what happens if it doesn't go away and it just stays there? How do we actually cope with it? Okay, so to a certain extent, we start seeing companies, my peers in the industry, their companies started announcing work from home measures. Some even go as far as to say that for the next 6 months, for the next 1 year, all our staff are going to work from home. Minimal people are going to step in the office, and if you are going to go into office, you need to have a valid reason in order to go into office. Okay, and that's very interesting fact that from this slide, if you look at the last number on this slide, 894% growth for Microsoft Teams. Okay, so it's not just Microsoft Teams, but it's actually collectively across the board, all the video conferencing and online meeting solutions, WebEx, Zoom, etc. All of them received a bump, a very massive growth rate when COVID-19 rolled around. Okay, so this means that businesses are changing, they are adapting. If you do not adapt, if you do not have a way for your employees to actually communicate while they work from home, your business operations will be impacted. Okay, and as in Singapore, we also had our government, announcing work from home measures, and this brought around a shift in the way that things and businesses operate. First thing first, businesses started seeing more and more transactions and operations being conducted online. Okay, and with MOM going around encouraging and making businesses put their employees to work from home wherever possible, businesses now need to exercise BCP, business continuity plans. A lot of businesses have some sort of business continuity plan, which they rarely ever have to invoke. Maybe the last one was during the last SARS outbreak. And then during such pandemics, what happens? The entire business organization struggles to provide the employees and the staff with business applications, hardware, and services to keep the business running. Okay, so the first one we actually see is that right from the onset of work from home, we immediately had a lot of customers coming to Samsung and ask, hey, Samsung, I'm interested in buying your laptops, but I couldn't find any one of them around. Do you know who or where I can buy them from? Or the tablets, etc. Okay, so to this end, right, we are happy to say that today, if you use a recent Samsung flagship Galaxy device, your device is actually capable of something called a DeX mode. So DeX mode allows you to use the mobile device in desktop mode. I will cover a little bit more about this later. So this one covers, the hardware equipment crunch. Just think out of the box. Instead of, buying laptops, or in certain cases worse, some employees have been told, bring your desktop and monitor home from work. Can you imagine the poor staff lugging the entire, set of PC home? So think out of the box, use Samsung mobile devices with DeX. And the next thing that, business organizations ought to think about is that business applications and services that allow them to have some sort of minimal operational capability when such pandemic rolls around. So on screen, I have some examples, logos of some applications that I think a lot of us are all familiar with, especially now. Okay, so as long as a business customer uses web-based application or has an alternative mobile application to replace or to work hand in hand with whatever Windows applications, legacy applications that they may have, I would say that more or less, Samsung devices with DeX will work well for them. And of course, the last part is that as they're going about trying to meet all these challenges, one very important part is that we cannot forget about security. Because today we are actually putting into hands of all the employees who work from home, a mobile device, a mobile endpoint that is capable of accessing company corporate data. Of course, we need to have a way to secure it and to make sure that our employees are using the device and data correctly. Okay. Okay, so the next part of things is I'm going to share with you a little bit about mobile developments and what Samsung has been up to. Yeah. Okay, so if you have had a chance to catch our recent flagship launch, which is actually the Note 20 series devices, you will realize that in there, we actually have a new feature called wireless DeX. Okay, so what is DeX actually? You will see on screen now, you are actually seeing, multi-window experience, and all these are powered through the mobile device that Samsung has that is DeX capable. Okay, and we used to only allow this on HDMI cable connected to our device, but we're happy to say that with Note 20 launch, we actually started wireless DeX. It means that as long as you have a Samsung Smart TV from as far back as 3 years ago, or you have a wireless display adapter like the one that I show on screen now. Okay, you can actually make your monitor or just send the DeX experience to your TV. Okay, and you can start working from there. Okay, and then what's up with Samsung DeX? Okay, so Samsung DeX is actually, the look and feel, it looks a bit like Windows, but actually it is still powered by Android. So what's the difference now? DeX actually optimizes the entire Android experience for a user to be able to match up with a Windows or Macintosh operating environment. So you see very familiar features like multitasking. Through multitasking, multi-windows, drag and drop, resizable, your favorite keyboard shortcuts still work. You can do drag and drop, etc., etc. And of course, wireless connection, I just shared earlier. And when you have a device working in DeX mode, you can use the external monitor with the desktop experience. You can still use your mobile device to do other things. So you have two screens essentially working side by side, all powered by the same device. And in order to have the optimal experience of doing this, we recommend to pair the device with at least a Bluetooth keyboard and a mouse, so that when you are interacting with the desktop experience, you have the feel of using a desktop PC, okay? And when you do this with a HDMI cable, okay, you enjoy up to 2K resolution, which is very high, more than enough for your everyday productivity use cases. If you are doing it through wireless DeX, your resolution will be limited to Full HD, but that is still very much sufficient for your everyday productivity use. And even if you are trying to watch videos or trying to play games with it, okay? Okay, so the next part is, digital transformation. In Samsung itself, we also have digital transformation. We transform ourselves to actually bring new mobile technologies to, business customers like yourself. Okay, so, rewind back to last year, the Note 10 launch. Our CEO of our division then, DJ Ko, actually went on stage with Microsoft CEO and announced a partnership. So what is this partnership about? It is actually about world-class hardware from Samsung, working hand in hand with good integration with world-class software from Microsoft. Okay, so a year on from here, where does this leave us? Okay. So if you look at what we have accomplished so far, we have not been staying idle. So today, if you buy a Galaxy flagship device like the Note or the S series, it's come bundled with Microsoft Mobile Office Suite. Okay, and we also worked on something with Microsoft called Link to Windows. Link to Windows allows you to actually access content, messages, notifications, as well as remote control your Samsung Galaxy mobile device directly off your Windows 10 laptop or desktop. Okay, so you no longer have to reach for your phone. You can just use Link to Windows from your Windows 10 PC to do that. The next thing is that some companies use something called a virtual desktop infrastructure. Okay, and we are very proud to be identified by Microsoft as the preferred client to be used to access virtual desktops on Microsoft virtual desktop that's hosted on Microsoft Azure. Okay, and the last thing that we are currently in the works today as we speak, we are still undergoing final round of testing and beta releases with Microsoft. Microsoft Teams, it is not new to a lot of us here. Okay, so Microsoft Teams allows us to do instant messaging, allows us to do online web meetings and all. So we are working to place a third feature into the hands of our customers, a walkie-talkie feature, or some of you may know this as push-to-talk. Okay, so essentially, we are working with Microsoft to have one piece of software application perform 3 functions on a Samsung mobile device. Okay, I will cover a little bit more about walkie-talkie later. Okay, yeah. So this is the walkie-talkie solution. As we can see, this feature, it is actually targeted at some of this industry vertical business organizations you see on screen. Okay, but not limited to all this. Okay, so what happens is that on a Samsung mobile device, we give customers the ability to reprogram a hardware key on our devices to be used as a convenient reply button. When they push the button and talk, they reply back to the last channel or the the default channel that this button is programmed to. Okay, so essentially with one app, they do 3 things. Okay, so this one is scheduled to launch, I think, very soon in 1 or 2 months, hopefully. Okay, once we completed all our stabilization tests. Okay, and the next thing, 5G and Wi-Fi 6. I realized that this is actually the salient topic today. Okay, so I'm from Samsung Electronics. So Samsung Electronics, when it comes to 5G, we build mobile infrastructure equipment. We also build the mobile endpoints, the smartphones, the tablets that you see. Okay, so we are also happy to say that Wi-Fi 6 and 5G, they are very similar radio frequency communication standards. One is to be used together with your Wi-Fi equipment, and 5G is to be used with mobile operators. Okay, so I know that Mr. Sebastian, Dr. Shah, and Dr. Vid actually shared a lot of very interesting use cases about 5G. So I will not share too much. What I'm sharing here, I actually thought about it, and I think that I will be sharing more about mobile-centric 5G use cases. Okay, so if you look at it, the first one, remote guidance. Imagine you run a company that provides engineering support services, and then one of your technicians actually go onto a customer site, and they look at the equipment, and it's something that they've never seen before. It has a fault or an issue that they've never seen before. And if they were to call, a more senior engineer or the chief engineer over the phone, it's going to be very difficult to describe the situation. With 5G, you could actually have a mobile device like the ruggedized tablet that you see in the picture, point it at a device, and the remote engineer can actually start to guide the more junior technician with what to look out for, what to do, so on and so forth. Okay. The second example that I want to share is something for automation. Okay. So for manufacturing, one of the ways that we combat manpower crunch and all this is to actually try and automate as much things as we can. But automation also requires monitoring, faults, whether things are working well, etc. And you do not want to be always glued to the pane of glass that is showing you all the parameters about how your production line is going. So with Samsung mobile device over 5G or Wi-Fi 6, you could actually remotely connect to the console that allows you to monitor how your automation of your production line is going. Whatever faults there, you could see it and receive it immediately. Because of Wi-Fi 6 and 5G, the characteristics that they have, low latency, high throughput, and you're able to connect a lot of more devices. Okay. With this, right, rest assured that you actually can get all your notifications for faults, etc., through your 5G connected mobile device. Okay. The third one that I'm going to talk about is about telehealth, telemedicine, and wellness. Okay. So today, this is nothing new, but what I feel is that Wi-Fi 6 and 5G is going to bring across a boost in the capabilities of telehealth, telemedicine. With regards to number one, when you actually see a physician over a mobile device, the physician is limited in the resolution of the video in which they can actually observe you. So with 5G, we can start to push higher resolution videos across. And then in certain cases, the latency also plays a part when the physician is actually observing you. So with low latency 5G, it all helps the physician be able to provide a better diagnosis. And when it comes to telemedicine, today we are looking at a lot of sensors, sensors, wearable ones, detecting heart rate, detecting EEG, so on and so forth. So all these sensors will benefit from 5G because they now can actually send their data across with very low latency, much, much lower than what we see with LTE today. Okay. And the last use case is actually for AR solutions. Okay. So we know AR solutions, if you see the picture, this lady engineer, she's actually pointing, again, a Samsung ruggedized tablet, at a piece of equipment. And what is actually happening at the back end? Imagine that you actually have an AR solution that is powered by AI. And that's going to give you things like object recognition, color, shapes, etc., etc. Okay. So today's, AI solutions are actually limited by the amount of information that the client device can send back. And with AI, because AI is supposed to be able to learn, the more information and data you give it, the better it learns so that it can give you better decisions in future. With the high throughput of 5G, the client device, like the one in the hands of the engineer, can feed back a lot more information to AR solution. Okay. With this, right, because of the low latency for 5G, the instruction or the resulting interaction coming back from the AR solution will have far, far lesser latency. So you can expect almost immediate responses from the AR solutions once it is run over a 5G network. Okay, so with this, let me move on to the next slide. Okay, so the next slide is, earlier on I mentioned that, while we're trying to struggle with how to cope with the current scenario, let us not forget a very important factor in all this, while we're trying to deploy mobile devices to actually meet and all the requirements currently. Okay, so Samsung mobile devices today has the most secure mobile operating platform, and this is coming from Gartner. Gartner does a yearly review of all the mobile operating platforms today. Okay, so Samsung is one of them. Okay, so this is by virtue of something called a NOC security platform, which is built into all the Samsung mobile devices today. Okay, and with this, right, what we aim to cover is that we cover end-to-end device, logistics, manufacturing, deployment, and security, all end-to-end. So I'm happy to say that Samsung today we are one of the first, and today we remain one of the strongest vendors that give our business customers the ability to do this end-to-end. Okay, and because of this, right, we actually have a lot of approvals, endorsements, and certifications from government ministries worldwide, including Singapore. If you look at that, we just put up GovTech, but we have uniform agencies in Singapore that have also certified and today are currently actively using a lot of Samsung mobile devices and our NOC solutions to actually secure the devices they use. Okay, so now I also like to share a new feature. Okay, this new feature, it is coming with the Galaxy Note 20 series devices. Okay, so imagine yourself if today for some reason you had to work out of office and maybe you're in between meetings and you found yourself ending up at a cafe in between little time slot, half an hour to an hour before the next customer meeting, and you wanted to actually sign in to the company network to actually check your email. So what will you do? You will typically power up the hotspot on your mobile phone. You may have to connect VPN on a mobile phone, and then you have to power up laptop, connect your laptop to the hotspot, start the VPN, connect in, and then retrieve your email. With this new feature called Secure Hotspot starting from Note 20 series devices, I'm happy to say that this entire workflow that I just described is going to be a lot more simplified. First of all, your Note 20 series devices can connect to Wi-Fi, LAN, or LTE, whatever kind of connection. And then the device actually has a persistent VPN connection enforced on it by the EMM. That means that all connection and data arising from the device and transmitting to and from the device and the server is actually encrypted. Okay. From here on, all you need to do is to start the secure hotspot feature on a Samsung Note 20 series device and connect your laptop to it. Bingo. From here on, your laptop shares and can use the secure VPN connection back to your office. And essentially, you are protecting both your mobile device and your laptop data transmission from man-in-the-middle attack. They cannot actually intercept and collect your data from here on. Okay. Another interesting feature that I'd like to share with you is a feature that people, lesser known feature. There's something called Network Platform Analytics. Okay. Have you ever wondered if you actually issue a mobile device to your employees and your staff, what do they do with it? Are they using it for work? Are they using it correctly? Are they at risk of being hacked? Or already there is actually a malware on the device that's actually doing funny things? So you're actually in the dark today. Okay. So I'm happy to say that Samsung mobile devices with the NOC platform in there gives you the capability of actually having an AI analytics solution look into the data packet streams that arrive and originate from the mobile device used by your employee. And with 5G, all this analysis takes place real time. IT administrator can spot activity trends. For example, if a staff is abusing company-issued mobile device with SIM card for Netflix, or if there is certain suspicious activity happening on a employee's device, you actually see it happening. You can do preemptive warning before something bad happens. Okay, so this is through the network platform analytics capability of NOC platform. Okay, I'm close to the last part of my presentation sharing. So today is that, all of us, as including business owners, struggle to think, how do I get my business, back online? How do I get my business back to normal operational state? Okay, if you look at the left side, our government is, discouraging direct interaction between staff, between vendors, etc., and customers. And then if you go back to work, it's recommended to have at least 1 meter social distancing in between colleagues, etc. So, I'm happy to say that, Samsung mobile devices, and we have wearables as well. So our wearables today, we have capability to actually ensure a variety of things: heart rate monitor, SOS alerts, fall detection, even safe distancing enforcement and violation tracking. Okay, so today as we speak, we have a number of customers that actually deployed our smartwatches with solutions that help them in doing all those things you see on screen, as well as helping them with their operational tasks and workflow. Okay, so if you've caught the news in the past day or so, you have also heard that, you may have heard that SCDF also has deployed smartwatches to actually help track the safety and the wellness of the trainees at the Civil Defense Academy. I'm also happy to say that this is also through Samsung mobile smartwatch. Okay. Okay, and the last part is that bringing a message across from our president is that this is what we perceive as the next normal, and Samsung will continue with more innovations to actually help our customers be able to meet all the challenges that they may come across. Okay, so with this, I think I'm at the end of my presentation. So I wish everyone, stay safe, stay connected, and stay productive. Thanks again to SCCI and StarHub for giving me this opportunity to share about, transforming the way of work and business transformation. Okay, thank you. Back to you, Chris.
Thank you, Jackson, for the informative presentation. We have now come to the Q&A session. If you have any questions, please feel free to type them in the Q&A box. Due to time constraint, we may not be able to answer all questions, but do leave your name when you post the questions, and we will forward your queries to our speakers. I shall now hand over the time to Joycelyn to start to set the Q&A rolling. Joycelyn, over to you. Can I also invite Sebastian and Dr. Shah back to join us as well? Thank you.
Okay, so
Chris. Yes,
can I
Jackson?
just answer the first question that came around verbally?
Yep, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Yep. So, okay, the first question around medically certified feature of the latest Galaxy Watch 3 that were announced like about a week ago. Okay, so if you have been catching the news, you will realize that first thing that is being approved gradually across all the different countries is the ECG functionality of the new watch. Okay, so Korea is the first country to have it approved. Then FDA in the US also approved it. So from Samsung's perspective, progressively, we will be going to all the authorities in all the different countries and getting all these necessary certifications for ECG, for blood oxygen monitoring, etc., etc. Okay, so unfortunately, I am not able to share a more concrete time frame with you today, but rest assured that this is something that we are looking at it seriously, and we are also balloting very strongly with our HQ to actually put Singapore right at the top, because I also want to share with you that Singapore is one of the more significant countries when it comes to deploying smartwatch solutions for enterprises. Yeah.
Thanks, Jackson. Dr. Shah, you have one question for does NUS intend to collaborate with industry, especially like deep tech SMEs for future projects?
Definitely. We welcome all partners, industry partners, and like I said, to co-create and co-develop deep tech together with the industry, and of course to prepare our future generations and to impart 5G digital skill sets. So this is very important for the present and also for the future generation. Yeah. Please feel free to contact me. Yeah.
Earlier on, Sebastian has also shared with all of us that StarHub is very proud to announce we're the first in the market to announce our 5G commercial trial. So Sebastian, pertaining to 5G is always about mobile coverage. How would the mobile coverage look like? At this current juncture, and that the audience can look forward to what they can enjoy over our 5G network.
Right. Yeah. So happy to share earlier on, right? As of today, right? The very moment now, we already have our 5G coverage around the island 53%. We are across multiple hotspots in Singapore, namely in Sentosa areas, in Jurong Lake District, the commercial locations, including Orchard Road and so on and so forth. Now, all this coverage of all the hotspots of 5G enabled now on our network, right, is readily available in our StarHub website, where we show you the list of actual detailed addresses of the coverage. And we expire as we progress in the months ahead, right, we will be enabling more coverage of 5G coming into play around the island as well. Now, that's just on our current 5G rollout that we enhance on our current existing 4G network to provide the 5G non-standalone services. Now, in the January of 2021 onward, we will be rolling out our 5G standalone services as well. So those non-standalone coverage, which will allow us to then be able to pilot the functions that we talk about in terms of low latency network slicings that comes with the standalone network that we are rolling out in 2021 until 2024. We will see that the next 2 years we should be getting our 3.5 non-standalone coverage, which we will trial with all the various AR, VR, low latency applications around healthcare and so on and so forth. This will happen in 2021 to 2024. All right. For now, the 5G network that we have will be able to allow our consumer and also enterprise customers, right, to actually have the first experience in terms of the low latency and the high bandwidth that we can actually get out minimally from a 5G network. And that is already launched officially and commercially available with our Samsung partner on the Samsung devices. So this is immediate. It's also on our website today. That was shared in our web chat. You can go there and register for a trial to get the service for the enterprise under the Biz Plus options.
Okay. Yes, there has been quite a few questions and interest pertaining to StarHub's collaboration with NUS and NYP. I think in particular, there are questions surrounding partnerships, that they can potentially explore with StarHub. So Sebastian, would you like to address that? And as well as, how can they enroll in the tour at NYP Apex?
Right. Yeah. Okay, there's two parts to this, right? On the partnership itself, right? As we have just shared in our slides and also in our previous briefing together with NYP and NUS itself, we encourage, and because 5G is going to be made available and come to fruition through ecosystems of partners, including technology and industry partners, beside StarHub and the regulator being the enabler of these ecosystems. In terms of partnership itself, right? In the past, we have been working with various customers to apply for the IMDA grant, all right, which has just come to an end in May. Having said that, there are other grants that will be coming out from the IMDA in the foreseeable future, which IMDA is working on right now. So, if there are any businesses, right, there's segments that we're looking into piloting, co-developing, and innovating on certain technology patents or even use cases, right, to resolve a certain business functions, do come to us in StarHub. We'll definitely be able to work with you to discuss how can we work as a consortium to then apply for the necessary grant that we will seek with the various regulating authority or agencies.
Yeah. For the audience who are interested to visit the NYP Apex, showcase, how can they go about doing that?
Okay, so the NYP Apex 5G centers, right, has been open for site visit pre-COVID until the circuit breaker. Now, with the reopening of the circuit breaker, right, in conscious of the social distancing, we have recently opened up a digital channel, right, to allow virtual tour, as was shared in the webinar. And be able to register on our StarHub URL website, right, where your request on looking for a tour, as you specify them in a very easy to fill form, right, you reach us, and then we will definitely, the staff will reach out to you. Our Apex 5G coordinator from StarHub, right, will definitely respond to you within 3 to 5 business days upon request. Jocelyn, back to you.
Hi, sorry.
Jocelyn,
Can you hear me?
yeah.
Yep, hi. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So one question for Jackson. What the device that we can look forward to from Samsung that's 5G enabled and that will power the future of work?
Right. Okay. So for a start, 5G will be on our Samsung flagship devices first. Okay. So there are a couple of factors that we look into when deciding or not to actually include 5G as a specification for the device. Okay. So first thing is that flagship devices are definitely capable of supporting the 5G use cases that users are going to use this device for. Okay. So as we see the 5G enterprise and consumer use cases start to evolve and mature, we will look at the devices that we are actually building, and we will try to ascertain and decide which one of these devices are actually suitable to be deployed for all these kind of use cases. And therein here comes actually the decision to include 5G on those. So right now, I can't say yes or no whether a certain model or certain tier of devices will get 5G, but I can say with certainty that from here onwards, flagship devices like the Galaxy S series, Note series, and Fold series, they will definitely get 5G variants. Yeah. Okay, back to you, Jocelyn.
Thank you. Dr. Shah, pertaining to the partnership, with StarHub on the solutions, how is NUS partnering that and bringing? When can the market be expecting out some commercial rollout?
Yeah, we are working with StarHub on a 5G IMDA grant for 5G trial, and it is still in progress. And we are hoping to get a positive result from response from IMDA colleagues. And besides that, in our MOU, we have promised to embark on the research and development of building inspection drones and AR, VR immersive learning technologies. So we are going to test trial virtual learning on one of our measurements module, all right, together with our partner Huawei and also Revis, all right, with or without government grant. There are, of course, in the horizon, there are more grants coming up. So it is very positive that we will come up with a viable product that can be implemented in a pilot trial at NUS for one of our modules called measurements using BIM, Building Information Modeling. So do look out for this product to be out, I think sometime next year, a test trial, and the results will be shared, all right, with the public and in industry on the best practices. And we hope that we become the epitome and the gold standard in 5G learning, not only in Singapore, but also in the region, where we become something like the green mark green buildings. We become the gold standard for 5G learning. So that is what our aim is, right? So,
wow, that's very interesting. I think, you know, that's really the future of education that our next gen can look forward to, you know, in terms of immersive learning. I don't see any other questions from the floor right now. So if there isn't any, then that will mark the end of our webinar. I would like to thank the audience and the speakers for the time in joining with us today. And thank you very much. And, you know, like what we said, there's a short poll up here before we end. We'd like to find out from you, you know, which type of 5G industry solutions is of topmost relevance, you know, to your business. And that may help us bring forth the next 5G solution to market to serve you guys, right? Sorry, there's one last question from the floor. Kim Chong, what sensor you have for corrosion detection during drone inspection for building and health monitoring? I suppose this question is to Dr. Shah.
Yeah, so I've sent my reply to drop me an email, and we can go into more detailed technical discussion on corrosion, which is a very important topic, especially facing the rising sea level. A lot of our buildings will be probably submerged, all right, with the rise of the sea level over 1 meter by 2100, all right? So we have to be prepared, like what our Prime Minister Lee has told us, that climate change impact everyone, all right? Not only in Singapore, throughout the whole world. So we have to be prepared to take up this battle against climate change, all right?
Yeah. There was news that, you know, Iceland is really, you know, losing its icebreakers fast, and there's no point of return. Yeah.
So climate change, yeah, very serious problem. So we have to be prepared and prepare our future generation. Thank you.
Thank you very much to everyone. We've now closed the polling. Thanks for the time. And to the audience who'd like to know more about StarHub, do visit us, StarHub 5G. Do visit us at www.starhub.com/5GBIZ. We look forward to having more of you on board with us through our 5G journey.
Thank you, Joycelyn. Thank you, the StarHub team, Dr. Shah, Jackson as well, for joining us in today's webinar. I think it's been a very insightful sharing, especially all aspects of 5G. So we hope everyone has been inspired and actually gained new knowledge, especially in this area for the next future. So with that, before we come to the end of the session, a quick announcement that SMEICC is actually offering a special discount for new members sign-ups before 21st of September this year. The promotion details are actually on the screen now. So do give us a call or drop us an email if you are interested. So last but not least, we would like to actually do a short poll now, just for some quick response. We understand that there's a lot of questions here asking for contact with the speakers on collaboration and stuff. So if you can just indicate your interest, and we will actually forward your contact details over to the speakers for them to follow up with you very shortly. Yeah. So on this note, we also like to seek your comments on the SMEICC Live through the feedback survey on the next screen. You can actually scan the QR code on screen or follow the redirect link after you have closed this session. Your feedback is valuable to us so that we can improve your experience for the next event. We have more exciting tracks and expert speakers lined up for you over the next 3 days. Please join us for the upcoming tracks tomorrow or scan the QR code to view the full program. Thank you everyone for joining us in this session in partnership with StarHub. We hope you have a great evening ahead. Thank you.